Diaz Gunners Collective. Back at it, you already know. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. With the arms up. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Like a mother. Ba-da. I said like your mother, guard. Bye. Oh. Don't talk about no one's mama. Bye up. Bye up. Bye up. What it is, you can tell by that thumbnail. Sauce. Now you already know what time it is. I got the headshot, the dome shot. Try to peel my cap words backwards, right? Try to turn my hat flat and turn it spiral. But at the same time, in the meantime, in between time, those that are day oneers that have been rocking with the gun since day one already knows what it is, man. You've heard the story. I've told the tale, and I tell no lies. These are all actual, factual events that have happened and occurred in my life. And I thought that for no other reason, because people continue, to ask me questions. I've had a lot of new subscribers that ask me, hey, did you really get shot in the head? To what degree of shot in the head? The highest degree of shot in the head, right? And this is exactly how it feels to be shot in the head. So before I do that, I'm going to give you a little backstory into exactly what popped, how it occurred, what happened, who did it, why he did it, how come he did it. I don't know why he did it. He just did it. Now, trip out. I did have a conversation with the individual that actually did shoot me in the back of the dome. And it was a heartwarming. It was rather a momentous occasion to actually chop it up with them. He was leaking, I was leaking, and then we were speaking, after we both woke up. Now, trip out. I remember that day just like no other. And this is answering the question for the subscriber that asked me, how does it feel to get shot in the back of the head? And did I retaliate? Well, here we go. Menudo style. That day I woke up just like any other day. You don't know what's going to happen. Spence on la tira, guard. You don't know. You don't even know if I'm a fish. You don't know what's going to happen. I woke up just like any other day. I'm trying to get to the pound cake. I'm trying to get to the bag. My whole thing in life at that time, this was right after I got out of the California Youth Authority, was getting to the bag. I had nothing. I got out of doing all that time and YA for murder with nothing. Zero. I didn't feel like a hero. I felt like a zero. I had zero to my name. I had one pair of Cortezes that were blown out from the side. I had a couple white tees and a pair of boxers on mine. Couple pairs of pants, and me and my homeboy did the interchangeable face on them. Here, you borrow the white ones, I'll borrow the black ones. Can I borrow the blue ones? 3 pairs, rotation. That's how I rocked. That's big time gang member right there, huh? That's all I had. See, I didn't get out and get blessed with the care package from the homies. I didn't get out and get blessed with a whole lot of feria. I didn't get out and get blessed with nothing other than my peep on my pants and myself, and that's it. But I got straight to it. Having that street mentality and already knowing what's up, I was saying, gang, I'm going to get to it, so I'm going to get it. I have to get to it, right? Because the rats and the roaches and the shiesty approaches were not for me. I was going to have to do some shiesty approaches to avoid the rats and the roaches. And indubitably, the gun got to that. Facts. Now, my antennas went up that day, and I knew there was a bag to be made, so I proceeded to call up one of the homeboys. Now, the homeboy that I called up was not from my barrio. He actually was from the north side of Merced. He actually was, in all actuals and factuals, an enemy guy, right? But me and him had went to school together. We stayed functioning together. We stayed tapped in during my whole time in YA. His brother was locked up with me. He was a good homeboy. So in fact, man, I went and swooped him up, and we went to mobbing. Now that day, I remember he had a couple tortas on the line, and they actually were going to meet us at a park. Now there's a couple parks in Merced. There's the Dead End Park, right? Of course, there's Mac Park, home of the Ghetto Boys. There's parks all throughout the city and the town. Farron's Park, Rahili Park, so many and so much. And at this particular day, we were actually rocking at Farron's Park, which is located on the north side of Merced, right behind the 7-Eleven, across from the apartments, right by Rivera School. You know what it is. If you know it, you know it. If you don't show it. Don't tell on no one. So anyways, we actually pulled up on these chicks, and they were waiting for us. And like the way it is, there's like a creek or something running through this park. It's a nice little park. It's kind of dark away. There's eucalyptus trees and things of that nature. So we felt that if for no other reason, if we met them up in the back area, we weren't going to get cock blocked. We weren't going to get hated on. We weren't tripping off enemies pulling up on us. We weren't tripping off none of that. So our whole plan was that we meet them in the back and we're up out, right? Sounds good. Let's get back to the bagarelli. But that wasn't going to be the case. See, these girls were already positioned at a bench. Okay, there was a table, a concrete table, wood bench, whatever. I can't remember right off the top of my head. I done lost my memory. But there was a table, right? And they were sitting at the table right off the street at the park. So we decided that if for no other reason the mobilization was going to be real, we pulled up on them. What's up, girls, right? Now, one of them, tapea. I ain't gonna lie. My homeboy could have her. The other one, she was cute. I could deal with that. No, mama never hurt nobody. So I was scared. The winner was. Now, my Mongolian at that time was braided and I was slightly faded. So as we pulled up and we walked up on him, I already seen my target and the one that I wanted. So instead of sitting down on the bench, she was sitting looking towards the back of the park. I actually sat on the table with my back to the street, chopping game with her. I'm right here up on the table. I gotta maintain my dominance. I'm a man, right? And she's down here, and so I'm getting at her. Not saying that women are beneath us, but I was trying to have her beneath me. So anyways, I'm getting at her, popping. My boy's over here. He's telling the chick, hey, let's go for a little walk. So they actually walked like a few steps down, and now they're sitting at their own bench doing their thing. And I distinctly remember just chopping it up with her, and the girl's looking sideways at me, and the homeboy's actually looking the same way with the chick, and they're standing looking that way at the creek, looking at crawdads and shit. And as we're posted up, all of a sudden, sauce. Just like that. How it feels to be shot in the back of the head, I felt pressure. Immediate heat and pressure, and that was it. Now, I guess, according to the homeboy and the homegirls in the story of how it happened, I didn't even get a kiss that night. I didn't even get another. You know what I mean? My money was missing. All kinds of bad things happened to me that day. But the moral of the story is I got shot in the back of the dome. So I guess what had happened was I'm kicking back, popping at her. There's actually a Crip. He was a Crip, right? And he noticed me. He seen me. He spotted me. So he got at me. He thought, you know, for some other reason that I was someone who had did something bad to his homeboy because I had a Mongolian. Now remember, he's only seen the back of me. So he sees my long braid in the back and automatically he assumes, hey, there he is. There's the SA with the long hair, right? So he's going to get with the program. Now, one thing about the city of Merced, people ain't tripping. They're quick to slip the clipping and get to spitting. If they see the enemigo, if they see someone, especially in a vulnerable position, lacking with their smacking and trying to be a macking with a Mac 10, they're going to make it happen. And guess what? He definitely did. He jumped up out the Regal like Bugsy CEO. He did it all legal, you know? And he walked up on me, boy, and me, I'm over here enraptured with the teta. I'm trying to look at the teta, you know what degree of teta. You see them teta, they're going to continue to be big. And I'm trying to see what. And anyways, Saz, he shot me. When he domes me, the homeboy has a little 38 on him. The homeboy pulls it out and boop, 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 as the dude's running away and hits the guy from the back of the neck right here and just scrapes him. Scrapes all the way from here to here. Okay, boom. They're in the shootout. That dude falls out. His homeboys jump out. Hands, hang, 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 hang. To what degree of gun, we don't know. But the gun's on the ground leaking. My homeboy already assumed I was done. You know, the chicks are screaming. One's running. The other one's falling and yelling and pushing and cussing. They stepped back and they kept bussing. And then we decided it's time for us to go. Well, I didn't do nothing. What I did was I laid it out on the grass. I was done. The homeboy said he thought I was dead. There was matter everywhere. It wasn't brain matter, but it don't matter. I still was on the ground leaking. So after the homeboy gets in the shootout, he hits the Africano brother. Then he falls out. Saz. The homeboy does the only thing he can do. He dials 911. He's hit. He's hit. Hurry up, Esperanza. Come help my boy, right? And they take off running. They left me right there leaking and all kinds of things, right? So I guess the ambulance comes, cops come, they snatch me and the Africano brother up and they don't know what has happened. So they actually had me, when I woke up 2 weeks later. I was in a hospital bed. I didn't know what happened. My head was fully wrapped. My eyes and my whole face was blown up about this big. I had 2 black eyes. My nose felt like it was broken. I don't know what degree of broken. But what had happened was I guess the bullet went to the back of my dome and skipped off my cranium. I got a hard ass head, that's right. Skipped off my cranium and went out the top. Okay, I have several scars on my head. They actually had to do surgery to remove some of the pieces away from my brain so that way the pressure of the blood didn't swell and then all of a sudden I looked like a zoo, right? Anyways, they were able to accomplish what they had to accomplish after 3 surgeries and I was good in the hood. And I remember a lot of my homeboys distinctly coming in and out of the room talking about, is he gonna make it? You know what I mean? Should I tell his old lady? Don't tell my old lady now that I see her trying to do this. Please don't tell her because I was there with the hyena. Right? So I'm just right there. Everyone's trying to run me down. Now, what had happened was I was in pain. But of course, I was on several pain medications. Now, at the same time, I was at MC Hospital. I don't know if you guys know what MC Hospital is, but back in our days in Merced, we used to have old school MC on the west, and we used to have Mercy Hospital right off M Street, located in the center of the city. Now they got a new hospital. Man, they're bougie and shit. Like, it's bad and bougie. My chick is bad and bougie. But at this time, we weren't too bougie. We were ghetto. We were roaches and nopales, right? So I'm right there at MC Hospital. And in this hospital room, it was a bigger room. You know, I was going to be there for a minute because my name was Bennett, and definitely it was up in it. They had a sliding curtain, meaning someone else was on the other side. So I heard about the coughing one day, right? And I did that. You know what I mean? Hey, keep it over there. Say I'm not trying to catch the COVID. This is way before that. Anyways, so I see all kinds of black people coming to visit him. And every time they walk by, these brothers are looking at me mean mugging. I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna get shot again, right? Because my homeboy told me, hey, the Crips got you, don't trail him. We got him covered like a straight blanket. Little did we know, the cops, I don't know if they did it to aggravate me. Remember, now I'm handcuffed because they didn't know if I was victim or prey. So I'm handcuffed to this thing. Basically, I'm arrested. And I don't know what for. I got shot. I was a victim, man. I didn't even do nothing, right? Guard! It's you, Vatos, that always mess me up. Anyways, one day after the people leave for visiting, it's late night. I got a TV. He has a TV. I can hear him over there bumping Soul Train. I'm watching my thing, right? So I get at him. I'm like, hey, brother. Hey, where you from? Now I could talk, but I'm talking with the lisp, my lip. I'm still all swollen. He was like, I'm from Whoop-de-Whoop Crip. Now, I'm not going to say his hood, man, because I'm not going to try to put nothing on their plato, right? But I was like, is that right, bro? And I was like, yeah. I was like, hey, I ain't going to lie to you, man. I got shot by a Crip. That's why I'm here. He said, I know I shot you. I said, what? No, I'm handcuffed and he's handcuffed. I said, what degree of shooting me did you do? Right? So he slid the thing back and he has this thing wrapped around his neck and he has a breathing tube, but he could talk. But he sounds like computer love. Like Roger Troutman, right? He's over there looking like, what's his name? The one that sings the alcoholic, T-Pain. He's over there like T-Pain, got dreads, though. So I'm like, what's up, bro? And he's all swollen, his neck's he's all messed up. I'm all jacked up. And that's what happens when you think you're a hardcore gang member. You're all jacked up, right? So I'm like, what's up, bro? What happened? I never did nothing to you. What was all the black and brown, eh? Right? And he goes, I said, I used to rock with the C-14. He goes, nah. He goes, hey, I didn't even mean to hit you like that. It wasn't you. And so he started running me down his part of the story. Well, his part of the story is prior to that day of having to run into me, one of his homeboys had been caught up in a situation and one of his homeboys had took a peg to the leg. Right now, that situation had zero to do with me. I didn't even know the guys. I wasn't even in the same vicinity, the same area. But because it happened, I said, and I had a long Mongolian, which was now more left than it was right. They had to cut my thing in half. It was all scraggly, right? But I brought it back, though. I brought it back. Little conditioner, you know what I mean? Vidal Sassoon, and I was to the moon with it. Anyway, so at this time, I'm not even thinking about my braid. What I'm thinking about is how I can get to this guy to do something to him. Because I'm upset. You know, this guy that shot me, I didn't ask for this. I didn't do nothing to him. I didn't deserve it. But at the same time, I can see the situation he's talking about. All I know, cuz, is some essay that shot my boy, and the retaliation is a must where I'm from. Red rum, leave your body numb, blasted the dum-dum, and now I'm looking like a dum-dum with my head all messed up. So after conversating for a few days, because we sat there for about another week till they let us out. Or they let me out first. They ended up arresting him. Because by this time, they found the chicks. They found the homeboy. They arrested my homeboy. He went and did it. He sat down for a couple years on it. They made sure I had no weaponry. They asked me what I knew. I said, I don't know nothing. All I know is I'm right here, you know, and I'm trying to discharge and get up out of here. The chicks done told the whole fairy tale. One of his homeboys, the driver, I guess, told on him. And that was that. But our conversation was a good conversation. I was able to understand, you know, just what it was we were doing. Now, it didn't stop me. I continued to be from the gang. I continued to even eventually ingrain myself more into my hood and my barrio politics. But at the same time, it had me thinking a lot. Are these the repercussions for actions I didn't take? Was this karma for something I did in the past? Probably so. But I was kept alive for a reason. Not many people walking the earth can say they survived from dome shots. Other than that, about the Jungle Boy, make sure you tap into the little thing I did. He was different. He got hit like 7 times in the head. And 50 Cent, oh, go shawty, it's your birthday. I don't have no cheek no more. But one thing I know for sure is my head's all jacked. That's why I always wear hats. People always ask me, why you wear hats? Because you're bald. This is because you're bald, because you're bald. I don't care about being bald. I'm an old man. But at the same time, I wear a hat because I'm self-conscious of the way I look. You know, because people are looking at me from the front. All the hyenas are like, give me that honey. Ah! Right? When they see the back of my head. It ain't that bad, but I'm self-conscious. I got some scar tissue. You know, it ain't nothing to it but to do it. You know, it's called battle wounds. I say battle wounds. Now, in the menudo style, with me and my battle wounds are sitting here conversating with this guy, and I'm all stitched up, tore up, jacked up, pinned up. And he's telling me, you know, I apologize, bro. It ain't nothing like that. If I have to go do time, if I have to admit to this and sit down, I'm going to do what I have to do. He goes, you know, I didn't mean to hurt you like that. I'm sorry, brother. He goes, it was just mistaken identity. And I said, I rock with that. And that is why there never was retaliation. Because let me tell you what happened. See, I've always told the story up to that point, but I never told you about what happens. Because, see, I had to explain to my family just why I was in that position. I had to explain to my old lady why I was trying to get my cat billed by a torta. I had to explain to the homeboys why we are not going to retaliate against this certain group. Okay, so all these explanations were done by myself. Looking like the Elephant Man with a big old head, right? Looking like Rocky Dennis from The Mask. So anyways, They end up taking that guy to the county and they released me. They discharged me a few days later. Now, we've already been in there about a total of 2.5 to 3 weeks in the oil. Not the oil. The what do you call it? The hospital. Anyway, so it felt like the oil. So when I get up out of there, my homeboy comes to pick me up. My homeboy, rest in peace, my big Squeaks, right? My homeboy Squeaky picks me up, I remember. The first thing he did was take me to my jefita's house. And I remember my jefita saying, you know, mijo, and my family, I guess, had come in to visit me. I was not in a coma, but I was tired. So I was always sleeping, medicated up. They had to keep me medicated up. They had to relieve the pressure in my brain, the swelling, all kinds of stuff that was going down. But I remember I could hear everyone perfectly. I just couldn't talk really until when I was able to talk, no one came to see me no more. Ain't that some shit, right? So anyways, I remember my jefita, she was waiting for me to get out. I got out. They had like a little thing in the backyard. My primos were there, you know, everywhere. What are you doing, Chewy? These are your, right? And of course we had those arguments. But I got at the homeboys and I got at my primos and my familia, and they wanted blood, homes. They wanted sangre. They wanted retaliation as most where they're from, because they felt that if for no other reason, by the grace of God, I'm here, but now I need to do my thing. And they wanted me to do that thing. That's not cold-blooded. What, I just got out. Can I get my moon first, right? But no, that was not to be the case. So I explained to them that I had a conversation with this individual and that it was just an unfortunate event and an accident. I was in the wrong place at the wrong time. They were like, nah, forget all that, bro. It doesn't matter. We need to set a precedent so this doesn't continue to happen. I said, well, do what you feel you have to do. But me, in my heart, I know I'm going to leave this alone. See, it's my head that hurts. I said, I need Advil, not you. You know, unless you're going to run to Walgreens and go get me a little botella, then I'll be happy. But until then, in the meantime, in between time, I'm going to be right here posted like a thumbtack, because that vato didn't mean that. And anyways, how do I look and how do I feel going to hit an innocent when he's not the one who did that to me? When the vato who did it to me looked me square in the eyes like a real soldado, a righteous ass gripa, and said, correct, I didn't mean to do that. I'll never hold anything against that guy or his people. You don't judge one apple from the tree and say, oh, there's a worm in it, the whole tree, that tree, right? Nah. You know, because the golden apple might be there. Saying you never know. Yeah, the winner is. So you just never judge it. To have a deep conversation with someone who just done the most horrible thing to you that's ever happened. You know, he almost took my win, my life. He did take my win for a little while. You know, there's pieces of my cranium somewhere. You know, I got a tooth in molesto and a piece of my skull and merced. I'm telling you, I've been through it. Stabbed, shot, hurt, packed, beat. He was about to try to hit me with an axe, but I did one of these, sighs, right? And I slide, and I slide. I wiggled up out of that one. That was ugly. You know what I mean? I ain't trying to feel the axe, though. The axe is different. But I definitely, you know, felt repercussions for every action, everything that I've ever done in my life. Now, one thing I know is for sure, I would love to have another conversation with that guy now that we're older and see where his life took him. I know where my life took me. It took me right here to you. Raza way. We're doing our thing. You know, palabra, we're going to keep doing it. Guard! I said, we're going to keep doing it. You don't like me to do it, but I'm going to do it because I want to do it. But you don't want me to do it? I don't care. Say what you want me to do with them and right here with the peoples. Going arms locked up, head all chueco, but it's all good. You know, I'm still maniaco. Now, of course, when I explained to my old lady exactly what happened, I had to, you know, switch it up a little bit. She was like, hey, why was there two girls? I said, I don't know. They were walking down the path. Well, what were you guys doing at a park? We were smoking a cabbie. I just turned into a drug addict right there in front of her because I had to say anything that I could say to get her off my scent. She was like, nah, I think you were meeting those chicks there. You're a scandalous. I said, why are you still with me? She goes, I'm not. I'm with your homeboy, Jaime. And I said, is that right? But she wasn't. But trip out. She probably was. She just never told me. In real life, situations like this occur all the time. You know? People getting shot, people getting maimed, people getting hurt. And, you know, are you really going to go back and handle your business? Now, I understand if it was like an enemy of someone that he intentionally tried to hurt me, he was trying to do me bad like that. I understand that. Okay, so yeah, and the wind's going to blow and everything. We're going to have I see the train coming. It's coming around the bend. Oh, sprinkle the woods in, bro. I'm going to call a couple woods undercover, con masks, and we're going to get our Hell's Angel on over there, right? Believe me, there's things that I would have done if circumstances were different, but because that guy apologized and because it was mistaken identity, I hope that his life turned out exactly how it was. Now, he did have a trial. They asked me to testify. They said, what's wrong with this guy? I said, I can't talk because I got shot in the head, right? And that was it. That was it. That's all you get. No. I ain't got nothing to say. I can't do nothing for you, man. My homeboy sat down for a few of them. He ended up getting ultimately 12 years for, they dropped the attempted murder. He got an assault with a deadly weapon, discharging a firearm, a couple other things. He didn't have even a record. That's what tripped me out was this vault didn't even have a record. He was willing to go take someone's dome off for his boy. He was a real one. You know what I mean? I can't lie. I'm just saying it was me. You know what I mean? Now they call me Captain Crunch because I got a skull cap. Yes, I do not have metal in my head. I got hard plastic, which was placed in there to refragment my skull. It's soft in some areas. I do sometimes get flashbacks of the scene of what happened. You know, so that's how it feels to get shot. I just felt pressure and then I was out, you know, and then it hurt after. It hurt excruciatingly. But is that a word? Well, it is today. Well, it hurt. Okay. That's why we're at all the time. Now, we didn't retaliate. My homeboys from the neighborhood were kind of mad at me for a minute, but then they understood, you know, ultimately it was up to me as far as, you know, handling business. The beat did go on with Merced Gangster Crips, which was not the group that shot me. You know, and I know a lot of homeboys had bad blood with them because of that. But it is what it is. You know, that's part of the game. When you're out there being gang related, it seems like, you know, these types of things happen. Me, myself, I was just trying to knock a torta, you know, bust down, tortilla, bust down. And I got busted down. Or he busted on me. And that's just how it went down, man. So, you know, you got to think before you're out there. You know, can't be caught lacking. Like I said, my back was to the road and my road should have been to the back. And that was it. And anyways, hey, I wish that guy peace and prosperity. I hope that he's still alive. I hope that he's still maintaining and doing what he does. At the same time, I would love to have a conversation with him. And maybe one day we can sit down and have that. I know who he is. And with that being said, gente, that's the story of me getting hit in the head, shot. My homeboys didn't like it. I didn't like it. But we had to deal with it. We dealt with it the only way we could. You know, we just turned our back on the situation and kept progressing to the Northern Lights. And we did that. Real talk. With that being said, I hope that answered your question. The guy who asked me how it felt to get shot in the head, I'm sure everyone has a different story and it feels different. Just thank God that I'm still here. Guard! I'm still here. I'm still here. I made it. How much longer? I don't know. But I'm here right now. With that being said, I hope that you move smooth with a purpose. I hope that you get everything that you want coming to you. Remember, at the end of the day, man, if someone does something bad to you, that doesn't mean return and go do something bad to them. That means think about what you're doing. Your next move is your best move. You know what it is. Go out there and get it for your familia. I'm going to get it for mine. Ain't nothing to it. Guess what? 33, 40 years later, guess what I'm still doing? I'm getting to that bag, eh? And to the tortas. Sas. Even by a park bench. And don't stop. One time for your mind. If you like me, hit that like and subscribe with your thumbs up. Touch that notification button. Lick it, pet it, spank it, eat it. Do whatever you got to do with it. Just please tap it one time so that you get notified of all my recent videos, because I'm going to drop a banger every single day of your life. And if you don't like me, and a lot of you don't, for some reason you still watch me, but you don't like me. And if you don't, homeboys, real talk, because you don't like to see a real one do real things and tell you real facts and real life stories, it's all good, homeboy. Hit that thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears Gun's crown. And I'm going to continue to strive and struggle for what I honestly, menudo style, truly believe in. That's the coming together of all gente. Black and brown. Sprinkle the woods in, brother. See? If anyone should be mad at the Africana brothers, it would be me. But I'm not, eh? I'm not.